get a lot more notes and a lot more keys. Let me let you look at another McSpadden here. This one has got yet another fret added. It's called the 1.5 fret. So if you look at this fret pattern, the first fret space, the fourth, and the fifth are the only big ones we've got. So it's actually 3 frets shy of being fully chromatic. And this is another solution to being able to play some more complex music on a simple traditional instrument. Now, let's move on to that chromatic. This is another McSpadden Dulcimer, but if you look, this is fully chromatic. So not only do we have the 6.5 fret, we've got the 0.5, the 1.5, the 3.5, and the 4.5. And we've also got fret markers similar to what you might find on a guitar. So we've got markers at 1.5, 3, 4, 5, and then double dots at the 7th fret. If you were going to hold a chromatic dulcimer for the first time, this is what I would start you off with. This first dot down here is right between the 1st and 2nd fret. So you'd start off with an O, play the 1st fret that's just to the left of that first dot, then play the 2nd fret, which is just to the right of that first dot. That's your first 3 notes in the D major scale. Then to get your next 3 notes, you'll just follow the next 3 dots. 3, 4, 5. Then you decide whether you want the 6 or the 6.5. I'm going to use the 6.5. And then the double dots mark the 7. So you start off with an open, and you play the frets surrounding the first dot. Then you follow the next 3 dots. And then 6.5, 7 is the double dots. The next thing I would suggest would be to just play all the music you already know from your diatonic dulcimer on a chromatic. Get used to ignoring these extra notes. And then after you do that for a few months, then you're ready for some cool stuff. So let me walk you through a few neat advantages of the chromatic dulcimer. A lot of dulcimer players are familiar with the 0-1-3 chord. So that's a G chord. So I might be in the key of D. And then I'll go to that G chord, 0-1-3. Well, if you drop that middle string a half fret to the left, you get a G minor. So just moving 1 fret on 1 string gives you a minor chord. So here's how I might use that. Here's a G chord. And then I'll drop that middle string, half step, back to D. Here's another G chord folks use, 3, 3, 5. And then drop that melody string, half step, there's your G minor. Then I'll do a D again. Here's another G chord, 0-6, 5. And then I'll drop the melody a half step. So I love how you can just take a major chord and make it minor by just moving 1 note just a little bit. And you can take a minor and make it major. There's also some neat bluesy chords you can get here. This is a D chord. And I'm going to add a 1.5 on the middle. Instantly you get a nice D dominant 7 chord, which is useful in the blues. Here's a G chord, 3-1-0. I can drop the bass down to a 1.5 and I get a G7. And then for my A chord, I might use a 3-2-1, but adjust that melody string up a half step. And you get an A dominant 7 with a sharp 5. Listen to those three chords together. We've got a D7, G7, and an A7 sharp 5. Do a little lead. Here's the G7. Back to the D7. Now here's that A. And then G. And then back to the D. Let's talk about a few of the scales you can get with this. Not only do you have your Mixolydian and major, you've also got a minor scale. You've got harmonic minor. You've got Hungarian minor. And you've also got the chromatic scale. So you can get a lot of melodies that just aren't possible on a regular kind of dulcimer. Also, you can take chords and just shift them. Shift each note in the chord to the left and back to the right to the original position. So here's a 4-3-2 chord for a D. Here's a G, 3-3-5. Here's an E, 1-1-3.5. And then an A, 4-4-6.5. So it's a neat little trick. You just drop the chord a half step to the left and then bring it back to the original spot. Here's a neat dulcimer made by Gary Gallier. It's a prototype of his. It's a chromatic dulcimer. I've got it tuned to F right now. It's a short scale instrument. This has got a little more of a guitar tone.